Shalom, shalom. This is brother Amaran, your call coming back a bit late in the week with another lesson. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah HaKadosh. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule on peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. So I'm gonna try and do these. I want to try and do some lessons regarding the crime. I want to call it exposing Edom, the crimes of Esau, something like that. I haven't really 100% decided what I'm gonna name it yet. Something along them lines. But the beloved elder Malcolm from the Chicago camp, he goes into these types of things. You know, he's far exceeds his knowledge of history, far exceeds mine. But he goes into it, man, because he talks about, you know, he critical race history, right? Because you know, the historical facts, Esau has done a good job over the years of trying to stifle the truth about the wickedness that they brought upon the children of Israel, man. Alright, so he's out there, you know, doing the Lord's work, as we already know anyway. But he's exposing them, man. I feel the same way. I feel in that spirit that, you know, we're in a time of knowledge where we need to be showing these devils up for what they are, man. Because that's what they really don't want. They want to be able to perpetuate the lie that they are good people. Know that they're noble and pure people, when they're completely opposite to that, and their actions speak louder than their words, man. You know. So what I want to try and do is I'm going to pull up some things from the past, what they did against Israel, man. Whether it be whole groups of us or, you know, individuals, man. Because they have this thing called, you know, there's a thing out there called critical race theory. It delves into lots of different things regarding race, which, you know, it's not even a new thing. It's not a new thing. It's probably like, well, you know, probably half a century ago that it began. It probably, you know, if not more than that. I think it was the 1960s. But yeah, they're trying to manipulate history to make it sound like, you know, things weren't what we think they were. But we have to, you know, there's documentations, man. So enough babbling. I'm gonna get into this one right here, man. Because this is pure devilry right here, man. This is the youngest person. I don't know about the world, but this is the youngest person in Babylon to be executed, man. Right? For a crime that he did not commit. No less. Right? And this is this website is Death Penalty Information Center, so you can find out all sorts of information about people that have been on death row and whether they've been exonerated after the deaths or whatever, after the executions and whatnot, man. So anyway, let's read what they did to this young Israelite, man. All right. And then, you know, we're going to get into some scriptures in that. And Lord willing, this will be edifying, man. And the Lord willing to expose the hatred that these demons, because that's what they are, man. The devils, man. That's why we call them the devil. They're deceivers and they're just destroyers, man. Murderers. Liars. So, it says, remembering the execution of 14-year-old George Stinney 80 years later. Imagine 14 years old, man. The fear in your heart. We know why. We know why. Those of us that are learning in this truth, we understand why, man, but it doesn't make it right. So, it says June 16, 2024 marks 80 years since South Carolina executed 14-year-old George Stinney Jr. Historical reports indicate that on March 24th, 1944, Mr. Stinney and his younger sister Amy were playing outside when two white girls approached them, asking where they could find a particular flower. And you know, a lot of the times where these jakes are getting marked is because of these Shedamites, man. These female devils, man, lying on Jake, you know, getting them killed, man, and it happens to this day. Right, it says neither Mr. Stinney, and it's calling him Mr. Stinney, you know. Like he's a 14-year-old boy, he ain't Mr. Nothing. When I was 14 years old, no one was calling me Mr. Alright? He's not a Mister, he was just a boy. And that's what they try and do to eliminate the empathy and the sympathy that you have for young Israelites when these sorts of things happen, man. They want to try and convince you that they're adults, man. In fact, I can't remember what it was exactly, but I read a story about a young 14-year-old boy, a young 4-year-old boy that was I think died from some sort of abuse. I'll try and do a lesson on that if I can remember who it is. And sorry to just butt in with this, but it's just to make the point. And on the news, and this is in Babylon, of course, they're calling him a young man. He was 4 years old, man. So this is what Esau does. He's very smart in manipulating the words, man. All right, spinning and double speak and all. He's very smart at that, man. He's a wizard when it comes to that, because it takes away those people that aren't paying attention. It takes away the sympathy and the empathy that you have for these victims, man, because they are victims. Anyway, getting back into this, so it says neither Mr. Stinney nor his sister knew where the young girls could find these flowers, and they quickly moved along. That evening, when both young girls failed to return home, a search party was sent to find them. Mr. Stinney, I'm just going to call him George, right? I'm not going to call him Mr. Stinney, that's disrespectful. So George and his family joined the search party, and he mentioned to another searcher that he had seen the girls earlier in the day. The next morning, after a pastor's son discovered the bodies of both girls in a shallow ditch, George was arrested and charged with their murders. According to police, George confessed to bludgeoning both girls to death despite the absence of any physical evidence connecting him to the crime. George was charged with capital murder and I'm just going to say grape. Well, you can read what it says, because I know what YouTube is like. Tried, convicted, and executed in South Carolina's electric chair in just under 3 months. So, you know, even the most worst murderers that have been proven to be so have more time on death row than that. But, you know, you're going back to the 1940s, man, where, you know, all that, you know, them Jim Crow laws and all that stuff were about, and all that, you know. So, read along. So they can read along. It says just days after Mr. Stinney's arrest, his father was fired from, as I said, Mr. Stinney, George's arrest, his father was fired from his job, and the family was forced to flee town. Right? Because they probably knew what was going to come next. Right? And it says because of threats of violence on March 26th, a white mob attempted to lynch George but failed to do so because he had already been moved to a jail in a different town. So they wanted to lynch a 14-year-old boy, man. Alright? They wanted to lynch a 14-year-old boy. He says a month later, George went to trial, but his family and other African Americans were not allowed to enter the segregated courthouse. George's attorney had no experience representing capital defendants, and failed to call any witnesses in his defense. The prosecutor only presented testimony from the local sheriff, who described George's alleged confession. Just after 10 minutes of deliberation, an all-white jury sentenced George to death for rape and murder. Governor Olin Johnston refused to grant clemency to George, and he was executed by the electric chair on June 16, 1944. Newspapers reported that the guards had trouble getting George strapped into the electric chair built for adults, as he stood at just 5'1" and weighed 94 pounds. When the executioner flipped the switch and the initial 2,400 volts surged through George's body, the oversized mask placed on his face slipped, exposing the tears streaming from his frightened eyes. George remains the youngest person executed in the United States during the 20th century. Now, there's a lot to read here. Oh, that's not much actually. And you see, the problem with this is, let me get something else as well. The problem with this is that it's not really going into depth of the surrounding issues, because I'm pretty sure there was a guy who was the real suspect in this. Let's see what this says on Wikipedia quickly. So thank you for the silence. I'm just trying to scan this real quick. Right, here we go. Alternate suspect, and they overturned the conviction, man. Too little, too late. Too little, too late. Because the problem is, in those times, the same kind of people that would do that to an Israelite are the same people that are in the police, that are the judges and the lawyers and on the jury and all that type of stuff, man. So, alternate suspect. Since Stinney's exoneration, George Washington Burke Jr., the son of a wealthy white businessman, George Burke Sr., had been the subject of speculation as a possible suspect for the murders. George Burke Jr. died 2 to 3 years after the murders of the two girls. In 1947, at age 29, Stinney's mother had worked for the Burke family for a brief period. Stinney's sister recalled that her mother had once come home saying that Burke Sr. had made advances to her, and their father had told their mother to no longer go back. Stinney's sister claimed to have heard the Burke boys had framed Stinney because their mother didn't want to give it up. Burke Sr. conducted an initial search for the girls and was the owner of the territory behind Green Hill Baptist Church where the girls' bodies were found. He was also the foreman of the grand jury that indicted Stinney, and has been accused of helping steer the blame off his son and onto Stinney. Two elderly women, Alkalu, recalled that Burke Jr. was known as a womanizer and for committing theft and getting away with it. According to Sonia Ely Williamson, a white Alkalu resident investigating the case who became close to Stinney's sisters, George Burke Jr.'s son, Wayne Burke, had told her that his grandmother had told him that his father had picked up the girls in his lumber truck by his grandmother's house on the day of the girls' murders in 2017. Wayne Burke denied saying this and said he remained convinced of Stinney's guilt. Obviously, but yeah. So obviously, then this has happened a lot, man. This has happened a lot. It reminds me of that film with Samuel Jackson, A Time to Kill, when them devils, assault his daughter and whatnot. And these demons have got a lot to pay for, man. Anyway, let's get into the scriptures, man. So let's go to the book of Baruch. So this is going to go into why we get into these sorts of things as a nation of people, but also, there's a payment. These devils have to pay for this, man. They're gonna get away with this. So this is Baruch 1. Baruch 4:1. It says, "This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take heed of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated." Right, jump into 6 because I don't need to read it all. Jump into 6. It says, "You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath. You were delivered unto the enemies, for you provoked him that made you, by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of Yahweh coming upon you, she said, Hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion. Yahweh hath brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them." The everlasting meaning the Most High, Yahweh. "With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Let no man rejoice over me a widow, and forsaken of many, for the sins of my children am left desolate, because they depart from the law of the Most High. They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness." Right. So basically, long story short, these things occur. That is his judgment, man. All right. George Stinney was, an Israelite, and he's come back in the regeneration before, and he had to pay for whatever crimes he committed against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? Unfortunately, that's the situation that we're in, under the curses, according to Deuteronomy 28th chapter, starting from the 15th verse. It entails all the curses, man. Alright? So, this is something that has been brought upon us by ourselves, man, but, that doesn't excuse, what these devils are doing, man. I'm just trying to read down. Right, that's what I was looking for. It's like here. Right, so verse 21 says, "Be of good cheer, O my children, cry unto the Lord, and he shall deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies." And that main enemy is Esau-Edom, so-called white people, man. So we say so-called white people because first and foremost they're not white, and secondly, not everyone that looks like them is an Edomite, and not everyone that looks like an Israelite is an Israelite, man. All right, it's all through the Spirit, and it's all through the seed of the Father as well. So when we talk, that's why we try to focus on the word Edom or Edomites or Esau, because we're talking about a nation of people, man, that don't come under a particular color. This whole colorism stuff was invented by them in the first place, man. To try and dehumanize the other races and put themselves up on high, man. Verse 22 says, for my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you, and joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, our Saviour. The Yahushua is coming back soon, man. He's coming back to redeem his people, man. Alright, he's coming back to redeem his people, which are Israel. And he's coming back to redeem the elect, first and foremost. And even those that are going to die are still going to be better off in the kingdom than they are now by a mile, man. Alright, they're going to be good. Alright, they're going to be at rest still. Right, but this is about the elect first and foremost. And George still is going to be in the kingdom, man. Alright, he's going to be in the kingdom. We don't know who he is today. He might have passed on again for all I know, but he's come back. He's come back, man. That was 1944, man. So he's come back. Third and fourth generations, man. Alright, that's the regeneration, reincarnation, man. Verse 23 says, for I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but Yahweh will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbours of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. And what's that talking? You can read that in Wisdom of Solomon 5, the 5th, Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, from where I'm going down, man. Verse 25 says, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High. For thine enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck. And that's what we're praying for this, man. We know it's going to happen anyway, but we're praying for it to be speedily, or for it to come speedily, I should say. Alright, we're hastening it. Alright, we've had these devils have had their time now, man. Their kingdom is falling right in front of our eyes, man. Right, they can't see it, but we can see it, man. Verse 26 says, my delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for you shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. Right? For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seeking 10 times more. And that's what we're trying to do, man. It says, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. See, the Lord is balanced, man, and fair. Alright? If he was unfair, he'd keep us in this position forever, man. Alright? But listen, let me jump around a bit before this gets too long. I'm going to jump down there because we... Alright, so obviously this Job 3, this goes into the the valley of Yehoshaphat, man, the valley of decision, man, where the Lord is gonna bring all the hosts together to battle, man, and destroy them, man. But we're gonna jump down and we're just gonna read it from here, right? This is afterwards when the elect are redeemed and the kingdom is being established, man. It says, and it shall, so this is Job 3 and 18, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation. And that's talking about Babylon, man. Alright? America. And Edom, the nation of Edom, shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. That he was, look, according to the law of why he was executed, man, he was innocent. Was he innocent in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Shai? No. That was his punishment, man. Alright, his judgment. But according to the laws of the land, he was innocent. He was an innocent boy, and they put him to death at 14 years old, man, because they were wicked, man. And their hatred for us runs it's more than physical, it's spiritual, man. Right? It says, but Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. Right. Numbers 35 and 33 says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood, it defileth the land. So Babylon, that land is defiled, man. So far, so bad, that it's not even going to be inhabited after the Lord destroys it, man. Alright? It defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So that's spiritual anyway, man, because obviously, like as I said, that land is not going to be inhabited, man, but that's the cleansing is spiritual, man. Alright? An eye for an eye, man. Alright? We require blood. The Most High, first and foremost, requires blood, man. Alright? And reading on, it says, defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I the Lord dwell among the children of Israel. So the Lord, once again, we have to say every time we do a lesson, the Lord is only dealing with Israel, man. Alright? You know, it's like the John 3:16 is so repetitively misused that when we say it sometimes, we find ourselves saying it in a mocking tone when it shouldn't even, and that's not on purpose. It's just that when you're dealing with these people that don't understand it, it gets on your nerves, because that's the first scripture that they want to bring out. It's almost as if they know that the Lord is not really dealing with everyone, but they want to put that forth first just to make you know, to make themselves believe that He is, man. Listen, the Lord is only dealing with Israel, man. That's why the other nations haven't gone through the curses like what we've gone through, man. They want to talk about everyone's had been slaves. Every nation's had slaves, man. Listen, every nation might have had slaves. That might be a fact, right? But no one did it like Esau-Edom, man. All right. No one. They went crazy with it, man. That's why it's called chattel slavery. They the splitting up of the families and the raping, so like the raping of the men, the women, and the children, man. Right, the mutilations of our people, and the terror that has been brought, pure terror, right? That's been brought upon us as a nation of people, man. You know. I'm just going to quickly read Obadiah, man. I'll close it. I can't even tell how long I've been going for, so. And I'm just going to read, I want to go straight to the point, man. So Obadiah chapter verse 16, it says, "For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually, yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions." George Stinney, man, is going to be one of them. He's going to get his chance, man, to put a foot up these Edomites' arses, man. Alright? We're all going to have our chance, man. We're all going to have our go at our vengeance, man. Alright? First and foremost, Scripture says, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." So the Lord it all belongs to Yahweh B'Shem Eloshai, man. Alright, it belongs to the Heavenly Father, for it has been done in front of him, in his eyes, and upon his children, and what they done to his son, man, or what was done to his son, I should say, because that was the fault of us. Yahushua being put on the cross, man. But that's another lesson, man. Verse 18, the best part. "And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it." And I'm going to end it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying, you know. I'm just trying to get into this kind of thing, so Lord willing, I can get out some more of the wicked history of Esau-Edom, man, and get more in depth with more details. But it's difficult to try and keep a compact lesson. So you know, the lessons might go longer. I usually do 25 to half an hour, but I might just try and go longer as well. So you know, we'll see how that goes, Lord willing. Alright, so yeah, man, with that, I want to give all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah HaKadosh, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who will want peace and blessings to the elect, man. To you, Shalom.